let's engage in some real talk about trekking poles. To trekking pole or not to trekking pole? That is the question. This is my show, gosh darn. I hope this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. What's up, friends? I'm Miranda, and I want to talk about trekking poles. Talking about some trekking poles. Whew, that hill was hard. Easy to stand up, easy to sit down. Oh, your knees are sore? Mine aren't, because of my trekking poles. I feel like there's a misconception in the outdoors about whether or not you need trekking poles, and so I just kind of want to set the record straight and talk about not only when you should use trekking poles, but also how you should use them. The reality with trekking poles is that every body is different. By using trekking poles, you can help distribute some of the weight that's on your legs onto your shoulders and your back, and so you become more like a goat, like a little goat human. So stable. Depending on your terrain or how much weight you're carrying, these can make a huge difference in your level of comfort when you're backpacking. If you have any kind of like hip or lower body injuries or issues, by all means, I would suggest trying trekking poles. Hiking is, for the most part, a lower body workout. Trekking poles make it a full body workout. Also, if you're crossing a river, trekking poles are like crucial for helping you stay stable in the water. Trekking poles can also be helpful if you're using like a tarp shelter or need them to set up your tent. And apparently you can use them to splint a break. If you like break your leg or something, I can't guarantee that, but that's what I've heard with trekking poles. Excuse me. For my trekking pole using friends, just a quick couple of tips. When you're using your trekking poles, you want your hand to go up through the strap and then down onto the handle. This is just so that you're trapping the strap of the trekking pole between your hand and the handle. Also, the bottom of your trekking pole will extend. Most of them either have numbers on them or a spot that says stop. So extend the bottom of your trekking pole to there, and then you can adjust the middle section. You want the length of your trekking poles to allow your arm to be at a 90-degree angle when you're walking. This means that when you're going uphill, your trekking poles will be a little bit shorter, and when you're going downhill, they're gonna be a little bit longer. 90-degree angle. Up through the strap. Feeling good, feeling stable. So efficient. Using all of my limbs to hike on this trail. That being said, if you are using trekking poles, you need to be aware of where you're putting them in the same way that we're aware of where we're stepping. Don't put your feet where they don't belong, and don't put your trekking poles where they don't belong. As long as trekking poles are used properly, they are not going to cause additional erosion on an already established trail. But if you're putting your trekking poles outside of the actual designated trail, you can post hole, and that can collect water, and that can increase erosion. Don't put them wide, keep them in tight. Real talk, trekking poles. So be careful when you're using trekking poles, and also keep in mind that there are some sensitive areas where using trekking poles is just like never a good idea. If you're on like rocky terrain or any spot where the tips of your trekking poles are going to scuff up the rocks, this kind of falls into the same leave no trace idea where you don't want to be making lines or ruining the trail for other people. If that's the case, you can always get rubber tips for your trekking poles, but again, you're just like trying not to be a bad steward of the outdoors. Also, don't stab plants. No. I feel like that goes without saying, but like don't stab plants with your trekking poles. So here are the situations when you shouldn't use trekking poles. If you're in a fragile ecosystem where trekking poles are going to damage the environment, don't use them. If it's just gonna be extra weight on your pack, don't carry them. If it's mostly flat ground and you're not carrying a lot of weight, don't bring trekking poles. For those of you that don't like trekking poles, look, trekking poles aren't destroying trails. People walking off trail is what's destroying trails. So just acknowledge that you don't necessarily know whether or not someone needs trekking poles. There's no need to pass judgment on someone else just because they're using something that you're not. Let's all just agree to be kind to each other and acknowledge that we're all having our own hiking experience. Trekking pole, trekking pole, E-D-D-D, trekking pole. So, did we settle the debate on whether or not you need trekking poles? Probably not. There is not a yes or no answer to this question. Everybody's situation is different. As always, just be respectful of other people on the trail outdoors. If you have your own opinions on trekking poles, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys outside.
You're so Miranda.
I am such a Miranda.
Yeah.
She's the blonde one, right? All right, let's talk about something I know something about.
Yeah.
Trekking poles.